What's going on everyone, littlelegeddan here and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I am doing a Minecraft tutorial video, and in today's episode I'm going to be showing you how to improve your FPS. Now this isn't going to be minimal FPS increases, this is going to be the top of the range amazingness of all amazingnesses. So there are two things you're going to need for this. Firstly, that is Minecraft and a Minecraft account. And you're also going to need Optifine. Now, when you launch Minecraft, you're going to come with this Minecraft launcher, and there's a few things you're going to want to do in here. So, firstly, you have the JVM arguments. Now, firstly, you're just going to have this unticked, but what you're going to want to do is tick this and delete all of the code in front of the -xmx1g. Reason being for this is the amount of RAM which you are allocating to your Minecraft. If you think about it, the more RAM you're allocating equals better performance. So by default you have got 1 gig. The 1G stands for 1 gigabyte of RAM. So what I suggest is, if you have a 1 gigabyte system, you're going to want to allocate half of that amount. If you have 2 gig of RAM, allocate 1 gig. If you have 4 gig of RAM, allocate 2 gigs. If you have 8, 4, 16, 8, it all works like that. So for my personal preference, I have a 16 gig of RAM system, so I like to allocate 6 gig of RAM. Reason being is because I like to do a lot of recording and I like to do a lot of editing on After Effects, so 6 gigabyte is where it usually is for me. But if you have an 8 gigabyte system, I usually recommend about 3 to 4 gigs. So if you want to do that, just type 3 or you can type 4. So I'll change that back, and what people usually say is changing this to 1280 by 720 will launch that into Windows mode, and that'll usually result in better performance. Now I'm not going to do that for this episode because personally I don't believe that helps you, so I'm just going to leave that unticked. Now for the Minecraft version, as you can see I've got Optifine, but I would suggest using the latest release, so 1.8.9 is what I usually have. What you're going to want to do is launch into that, and then after you've launched into Minecraft 1.8.9 or whatever version you are using, quit out of Minecraft, and then you're going to want to visit this site. Now this is Optifine. Now as you can see, it doubles FPS, you get support for HD textures, different kinds of render distance and smooth light and all that kind of stuff. So if you go to the downloads page, this will be linked in the description below if you would like to go and check that out. So since we are using Minecraft 1.8.9, you're going to want to download the latest version of Optifine. Now, the release updates quite frequently, usually every week or two. So if you click the mirror, that's going to take you to this page. Then if you click this, you usually get an advertisement, so try and click it again, and it'll start downloading, and see, there's an advertisement there, just get rid of it. What you do here is you click on here, and there's an install button, you click that and it will install it to your Minecraft. Usually it won't appear here straight away, so all you're going to want to do is simply X out of your Minecraft and then relaunch it. So if you just wait for it to relaunch, usually when it comes back up you will come up with the profile of Optifine. Simply click on there and switch back to the profile you have made, and then click edit profile, and usually this is reset, so change this to 6 gig or whatever amount of RAM you're using, and then usually here there will say Optifine and then the version you have installed. So in my case this is H2, that's the latest version I believe. So once you've done that, click save profile and launch into your Minecraft. Bear in mind that I've got mine in full screen. Mine's probably going to launch into full screen, so I am probably going to have to switch that, so I'm not too sure. Okie dokie guys, so unfortunately I had to relaunch Minecraft and I had to launch into Windows mode for you to actually be able to see this since I'm recording with OBS. But now that you're into the Minecraft screen, there's still quite a few things that you need to do. So when you go into your video settings, you're going to be introduced with a lot of stuff. So personally for me, if you have a low-end system, then you're going to want to be setting the graphics setting to fast, but since I have a faster system, I like to keep it on fancy. Smooth lighting, I would recommend turning that off and putting the smooth lighting level to off. For me, I keep it on 100% and I have it on maximum. GUI scale, that just depends on personal preference, what you would actually like it. I personally keep it large. Brightness, that is also personal preference. Fog, I would recommend leaving off because that's the fastest for your system. Shaders, you want to leave alone. In details, I would recommend turning clouds off and trees on fast. For me, I just keep these on fancy because it doesn't have an impact on my system. Sky, I would recommend just turning that off. Sun and moon, turn off. Translucent blocks, keep this on fast. Dropped items, fast. Vignette, I do not really understand what that is, something to do with the GPU. Keep that on fast. Cloud height does not affect performance. Rain and snow, keep this off. Stars, keep off. Show capes, depends what you want. If you want to see capes in game, then leave that turned on. Held item tooltips does not affect performance, and entity shadows I would recommend turning off or on. I'm not really sure if that affects performance too much. So animations, usually you can just click all off and that'll turn off, but for me I like to keep that on just because I like all the effects. Now render distance, this is quite important. Render distance 32, that is only for offline, so anything past render distance 16 will not work on multiplayer, it will only render up to 16. Personally for me, I have found that render distance 10 works quite well, or render distance 8. Anything above that really doesn't matter. Max frame rate, if you're after the most frame rate possible, then I would recommend putting this on unlimited. However, I keep this on 60 just because I like to record in 60 FPS and I don't like it getting anything over because I don't like screen tearing or any of that kind of stuff. View bobbing, I leave this off just because that's for my personal preference. VBOS, I recommend you leave this on just because it leaves your graphics card or GPU to do the rendering of the objects, so that's usually 5 to 10% faster as it says on the screen. Alternate blocks, I am not really too sure, just leave that on or off, depends how it affects your system. Fog, that's all down to you, it's whatever you want, it down to personal preference. Quality, I like to just keep everything on here off, so nothing on here requires to be turned on. In performance, I always keep smooth FPS on, smooth world on, fast math on, fast render on, chunk updates as 1, dynamic updates on, and lazy chunk loading off. Only times you're ever going to want to put lazy chunk loading on is if you have a single core CPU. So for me, I've got an 8 core CPU, so that doesn't apply to me, and it won't really apply to anyone unless you have a really old PC. So then if you go into the other box, everything you may as well just leave default here. Autosave, may as well make that every 3 minutes. I don't understand why mine was on every 2 seconds, but you know, we'll keep it like that. Full screen mode, I'll leave that as default. Time default, debug profile, just leave all of this off because none of that affects you. So now we're just going to jump into, I believe we will jump into Hypixel. So it's going to be really laggy for me because mine doesn't like recording in Windows mode. So yeah, there you go. So your FPS will be improved very significantly. So as you can see, I'm running very smoothly, and I would run a lot smoother if I was in full screen, but you know, that's just down to what's happening to me. So if this video did help you out and you would like to see more of these kinds of tutorials, please do smack that like button. If anyone is struggling to run their Minecraft at steady FPSs, please share this video with them. I believe this will help everyone out in every single way, you know, depending on how good or bad their computer is. So I'll see you in my next video. I've been littlelegeddan. Subscribe if you haven't already to become Cobra Day. Join the Cobra Nation. You know, we are close to 1,250 subscribers, which is absolutely awesome. So I'll see you in my next one. I am out, and peace out.